Hello guys, this is episode 2 of my Newport video. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the sewers under the city. Apologies for the lag there might be a little bit more later. But I'm going to take a torch out now because it's going to get pretty dark down there. So there are a bunch of ways to get into the sewers. I'm going to show you probably like the most normal way. If you fly over or walk over to this part of the city, you'll see that there is a stairway. It's going to come down here. And I'm going to take my torch out now because I don't think it's getting any brighter. So the way that the sewers are laid out is essentially they're made of these interconnecting tunnels that are filled with basically mossy stone brick on the top. And then the bottom is a mix of dirt and coarse dirt and moss. And there's all these little like ways to kind of get across. And one of the things I wanted to do is make them feel very alive. So there's mushrooms and there's all sorts of like fungus and stuff like that everywhere, as well as like these little like drainage areas. So this is our little tour of these sewers. If we come down here, you'll see that this basically flows. It's basically flushing fresh water in, or salt water in, from the port out there. And we come back here. I'll show you basically this, where you see the lantern is the center of the sewers. That's like the most kind of like patrolled part of it. But this is basically a city under the city. And I'll show you a bit more what I mean when we get to the parts that are a bit more inhabited. But say this part over here connects over to the castle. So Spicer Hall is above us right now, and that is the big castle in Newport that you would have seen over either in our last video or when I was flying over before. And if you want to exit the castle through like a secret exit, you would start here, and then you would basically continue coming down here through these sewers. This is the brightest part of the sewers, probably, and that's because we're right under the temple. So I'll go into spectator mode really quickly just to show you. Over there was Spicer Hall, and then this is the big church in the city, the Church of St. Carlisle. If we come back down here into creative mode, and you'll see that basically the way it's supposed to be set up is that essentially like there's all these different little areas that are flushing water through here. And it's a mix of like grime and muck, but also it's kind of alive, like it's full of overgrowth and stuff. Because the sewers should be like a very lively kind of place. And I'll show you over here. There's two ways to go. And there's also this cute little, I don't know, like I like it. It's like a little, like a flooded drainage kind of ditch through the middle of this room. But if we come up here, basically, this is one of the normal ways to get into the sewers. So the main city gate is, the main city gate is just here. And then this is a back alley in one of the kind of richer districts. You can see that there's like panes of glass here, so they can afford some nice things. But if we come back down here, the other way you can go is, say you were trying to escape from the castle and you wanted to get out of the city, you would follow down this little route all the way to the end. And up here, you can exit through the graveyard. One of the most like classic all-time Minecraft secret tunnel things. But yeah, exiting through a graveyard, through like the used tomb, basically. And we can see out here that all these ships are in the harbor today. A very busy trading day for Newport. But I'll show you. We aren't going to squeak back down there. I'll show you one of the other ways you can get in. So the other secret exit that leads out of the city is actually going to be in the Three Wolves Tavern and Inn. So if we come into here, we'll actually see that down here next to the kitchens of the inn, there is a secret passage. And if we follow this to its natural conclusion, will end up in the sewers. So this is a smaller part of the sewers. We saw earlier that it's built out of, a lot of the rooms are like these big kind of regular, kind of like tunnel sizes. This is a slightly smaller one. But one of the cool things you can do with your sewers is vary the size of the tunnels to make it look like it's maybe under a smaller district or maybe an older part of the city. In this case, somebody is using this part of the sewers to hide stolen goods, probably. Or maybe just to hide goods that they don't want anyone stealing from them. And of course, if we come back here, this is the center of the sewers. So it essentially is all flooding down into here. If I ever get around to it, what this is probably going to be is a second level below us to a kind of sub-sewer level. And maybe I'll put something weird down there, like a sewer cult. Or some kind of like weird alligator stuff. But we don't have alligators in Minecraft right now, so we don't even have rats, actually. So yeah, it's kind of hard to make that feel alive. Another cool thing I can show you is that there's this wall made out of bones here. I used a similar trick in my Tomb of Kings video, if you want to check that out. But where this pops out is right here, under the basically cannibal butcher that is operating within the city. So we saw in our last video, basically there is a butcher here that is connected to the barber surgeon, just like in Sweeney Todd, the famous kind of a Broadway musical. And basically the meat they feed to the city people, but under here, this is where they kind of stash the bones. And the last really living part of these sewers down here are the refugees. So over here, we have a bunch of beds all crammed together. You can imagine it being like straw mattresses and stuff. And they're just trying to like stay afloat over this like stinking water. You can imagine the smell down here would be like pretty terrible. There's just a couple candles burning. And here we can see that they have a bowl of some like pretty sludgy soup. Because one of the really important parts of making a city feel alive is, having some places that are nicer and some places that basically suck to live in. And basically we have like a few different tiers of life in this city. So of course, over here we have like the Merchants Guild, and we have the Spicer Hall, and all these nice like pretty and prim row houses, and there's all like really fancy places. If we come into some place like this, we can see that these are like merchants that are like nice, but like they're still merchants, like they're still part of the kind of lower class or middle class. Over here we have people that are like actually lower class, so these are mostly like builders and sailors, especially because this is a port town, this is a sailing town. And then underneath us, of course, we have the refugees. And I know it's kind of weird and dark. Spectator mode does that. But yeah, I think it adds a really nice layer of literal and kind of metaphorical depth to the city, a lot of intrigue. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.